Doing another update on what's going on across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley for this morning, tracking a few rounds of storms, some scattered storms, brings a lot of lightning for parts of the River Valley, but the severe warning and the severe threat is mainly for northwest Arkansas. Tracking this line now moving into parts of Washington and Benton County. Do have a severe thunderstorm warning on the part that's just moved through Siloam Springs, moving through Decatur now, moving into parts of Washington and parts of Benton County for the time being. But we're going to continue to track these storms over the next hour or so as they push finally out of our area and then eventually into parts of central Arkansas. So let me get ready to send a mobile alert for everybody who's on their phone, just so they can get this as well. And then we'll have our full attention on what's going on. Because I know folks are trying to head out the door. A lot of us got work. Send the kids off to camp for today, and you don't want to be running into storms like this. Because right now, driving conditions aren't the greatest across northwest Arkansas, especially as this continues to drop into our more heavily populated areas. I-49 is going to get pretty backed up here shortly. So let's send this to everybody. Okay, so you should be getting your alert on your phone if you're watching at home. But we're continuing to update this storm system as it moves throughout the area. Scattered storm, like I mentioned, bringing some nice downpours to parts of Franklin County. It's going to be moving into Logan County. Our main concern, though, is northwest Arkansas. That's where we're seeing that severe thunderstorm warning for the time being. So switching over to more to that sweep radar so we can see a little bit better of that definition across the area. That's where we're seeing some storms in northwest Arkansas. Let's jump right into northwest Arkansas so we can give a good breakdown. So we've seen that line of storms at the time being all the way from parts of Washington County, Benton County. That continues all the way up into Missouri as that complex continues to move through the area. But Siloam Springs, you saw a pretty good batch of rain, some nice gusty winds going through the area. Right now, you're starting to look a little bit more clear. I'll zoom in right onto that warning that's out right now. So Gentry, you're going through most of that, the gusty winds is now moving past you, but you're still having a lot of that downpours, a lot of that lightning. For Highfill, XNA, you're right on the edge of that warning. Good news is they trimmed this warning, but they didn't extend it. So it's a good chance that as this continues to move more towards Bentonville, towards Rogers, into Johnson, Springdale, Fayetteville, that this is still packing a punch, this line of storms, but not going to be severe warning. So that means that the velocity there is going to be dropping below the 60-mile-an-hour limit that would issue that warning. Let's check the velocity just so we can get an idea of where our peak winds are. So this is picking up from that Tulsa radar. Let's try to get it so it's picking up from Fort Smith. Oh, so now it is picking up from Fort Smith. Hard to tell there, the velocity. But you can obviously see that some of our brighter colors are moving into parts of Washington County, just far southwestern corner of Benton County. So this is moving more towards Johnson, getting a closer look in here. That is where the strongest wind gusts are. It's jumping in between radars there, so it's hard to tell. But Farmington, we're going to be seeing some of these storms. They're right on our doorstep. Tawnytown, you're almost into that warning, but I think some of that stronger winds are going to stay more to our south. But we're all going to see a gust 40 to 50 miles an hour across northwest Arkansas in the next 15 to 20 minutes for our metro areas, getting over to radar so we can kind of get a good idea of what's going on. If you're thinking about heading outside for your morning commute, if you're taking I-49, it's going to get pretty backed up. As you know, driving around in the rain, we're going to have a really nice downpour along this line. Going to have some gusty winds, so it's going to be backed up a little bit, as you can imagine. So give yourself time, if you can, maybe leave a little bit later once the storms continue to move through. Timing-wise, we're within the next 10, 15 minutes for most of our metro areas. Let's draw the line out here so we can get a good idea. Fayetteville, you're likely a little bit quicker than, say, Bentonville and for Rogers. Fayetteville, you're looking at about next 8:15 to about 8:20 for Fayetteville. For parts of Farmington, you're really the next 5-10 minutes or so. As you get more towards Highfill, XNA, you're almost seeing these storms. Rogers, Bentonville, we're looking a little bit closer to that 8:25. So next 15 minutes, getting over towards Little Flock here, more about 8:30. So storms are moving through the area. They're moving out 45 miles an hour, which isn't super quick, which is why we're going to see a little bit more heavy rainfall and why those winds have started to die down. Because as they move through central Oklahoma, moving towards Tulsa, they were moving quicker, around 60 miles an hour. So we are seeing just intensity dying down just a little bit across most of the area in terms of this line of storms. So really that's the only warning that we have on this line. We do have some more storms that are moving in two parts of central Arkansas, moving towards Little Rock there, but can't really rule out this storm moving through the river valley right now. Not severe warned, but there is definitely decent lightning. We see all the lightning very loud across the river valley right now. Through Paris, you're going to be seeing some of that, the heavier downpour. You're hearing all that lightning and thunder right now. Charleston, you probably seen quite the light show out there for this morning as we go through the next half hour or so. Ozark, you're going to be seeing some. Mulberry, you just have some in your vicinity. Coal Hill, Boonville, you have some in your vicinity as well. Coal Hill, you're probably closer to see some of those storms cruising through. But take another look outside just so you know kind of what you're looking at in terms of our watches and our warnings in the area right now. One warning, that is for parts of Benton and Washington counties and towards the western half. And metro areas, we're not under any of those warnings. We're under a watch. That's what that pink area is. So everywhere north of the Arkansas River, north of I-40, we do have that watch. And then that storm is south of the watch, but still packing quite a punch for the river valley. Let's see if we can pull up some live cams. Starting to hear some thunder here in Johnson. Wow, that's a nice look in Springdale, looking towards the west. We can obviously see some of that shelf. You see some of those lower lying clouds. This is really where that gust boundary is. So behind this is where the heaviest rain, but you can see in Springdale here, once this begins to move through, winds are really going to start to pick up. This is that boundary. So you can really see the layers to the clouds here. This will be moving in here. I mean, not too far off if we're seeing this along I-49 in Springdale. Near the Holiday Inn there. Let's take a look in Bentonville as well, see if we can catch some of these showers. So Bentonville, this is a live look in. Oh, this might not be updating here. But we're going to definitely see some storms here in Bentonville as well. But that's a nice shot in Springdale where we're seeing some of those storms in the area. But let's pull back out a little bit, see what we're dealing with across all of 5 countries. Still that warning. The fact that it hasn't been reissued is good news. We're getting to the tail end of when that is going to run out. Let's pull up and take a look at when that system is going to expire. So it's good until, where does it say? It was issued at 7:58. So it's going to expire in the next minute or two. So if we don't see that issued once again, it means that storm's just dying down a little bit below that severe limit. So we're looking more towards that just 50-mile-an-hour gusts instead of 60. Still, I mean, it's going to feel loud. You're going to have the rain. You're going to have the lightning. But for northwest Arkansas, we're very close to seeing those storms moving into the area. Just a general look at northwest Arkansas. Fayetteville, we're starting to see a little bit of a bow in that line there. So maybe just a little bit stronger winds heading into Fayetteville right now. Parts of West Fayetteville, Farmington, you're seeing some of the storms. Lincoln, it's raining pretty nicely there, seeing some lightning. But in general, we're seeing some weakening along this line. Silent Springs, you're more into the clear now. Could see a few showers moving through the area on the back half of this. Not going to be worried about the severe threat. This is the severe threat across northwest Arkansas. Once this clears you, Decatur, once this moves through you, you're getting it right now, but once that clears through you, then you're going to be good. We already seen that a warning has been allowed to expire, so still tracking this line of storms throughout the area, along with that storm in the river valley. No longer under a severe threat, which is good news. Those winds have died down just a little bit as we've ran into more stable air across northwest Arkansas, but once again, still seeing some storms. Let's just do a final timing so if people heading to work can get a good idea of what they're going to be seeing. So for Fayetteville, you're looking closer to the next 5 minutes or so. Rogers, you're looking more towards that 8:25. Same case for Bentonville. You're probably looking more towards 8:25, so next 10 minutes. Pea Ridge, you're going to see some of those showers moving through the area by 8:30, and then you move more into Madison County, Huntsville. We're looking more towards 8:45 to 9 o'clock as you get farther towards the east. And then we'll do a quick look at the river valley as well so folks can get an understanding of what's going in through there. So we're obviously seeing this larger storm moving through towards Paris. Let's zoom in on that. River Valley in general, not quite as much as seeing that line. We have actually seen that expansion a little bit farther towards the south. So Van Buren, it'll be close. We're seeing some of these showers are pretty much going directly east. We'll see them in our vicinity. Not really worried about a wind threat, but could see some downpours and some lightning and some of that heavier rain. But that larger cluster of cells moving through River Valley right now, producing a lot of lightning between Paris, Ratcliffe, Charleston. Boonville, you're just barely getting some of that rain. You're probably seeing the lightning, hearing the thunder just toward your north. But between Ozark, you're going to see some storms here moving through central part of Franklin County there, but just along I-40 as well, mostly to the south of I-40, but seeing some downpours there. So we'll continue to update you if we do have another warning out, but for the time being, we're looking not too bad across most of the area. Still expecting some stronger winds across northwest Arkansas when this line moves through, looking at 50-mile-an-hour gusts below severe limit, which is good. This thing is starting to die down just a little bit. So dealing with some showers as we go throughout this morning, some storms throughout this morning, but as we go more towards the rest of the day, looking clear. We'll see a cold front move in, going to have some sunnier skies on the way. But for now, we're just going to take a break. If we see anything else pop up, we'll be sure to update all those folks. But for now, no warnings or